An emergency dispatch alerts firefighters at Metro-Dade Station 7 in Miami, Florida.
Report of a building collapse. There are persons injured. 116.
A catastrophic building collapse is reported at the Biscayne Kennel Club, a racetrack on the south side of Miami. Built in 1926, the Kennel Club was one of the nation's oldest greyhound dog racing tracks, but the park has been closed for years. The landmark track and its 6-story grandstands were scheduled to be torn down. When Station 7 firefighters arrive, they are not prepared for the enormity of the disaster.
The area that was demolished was probably the size of a football field or two.
In his 14 years of firefighting, Metro-Dade Fire Lieutenant Bob Palestrant has never seen a collapse of this magnitude.
It looked like an explosion, like somebody taking a building down with a bomb.
Tons of sheared steel and chunks of concrete are all that remain of the enormous building. Lieutenant Palestrant learns workers were preparing the structure for demolition when it suddenly collapsed on top of them. Fire Captain Jeff Strickland is called in to help supervise the massive rescue effort.
Rapid intervention.
He will oversee a fire unit specially trained for building collapses. 2 victims have already been confirmed dead on the scene. But Captain Strickland knows that there are still 3 workers missing.
When you see that the bodies are crushed, it just heightens your awareness of the power of the building, of how strong it is, and how you can easily be hurt or get killed. But you have to have that optimism that you're going to find someone. You have to move on.
Captain Strickland knows Lieutenant Palestrant and his rescue team will have to go inside the precarious structure to search for the missing workers.
It was an extremely large area, and we didn't think we were going to actually find anybody who was still alive with all the damage.
The crew climbs in through the labyrinth of steel beams and girders. Flashlights lead them deep into the teetering wreckage.
We spread out, we just started yelling, and then every so often we'd stop and try to listen. And we heard a voice. We triangulated on that voice, and we saw the hand of the victim sticking out of the rubble.
Workers clear the area to reveal 30-year-old Edwin Orellana crushed beneath the rubble. The worker was deep inside the building, preparing the 6-story structure for demolition. Edwin is now pinned face down, trapped beneath layers of sheet metal and debris. Lieutenant Palestrant calls in the heavy extrication equipment.
You think a ram's gonna move anything here or not? It was jaws at all?
Meanwhile, outside the massive collapse, Captain Strickland detects a deadly odor. He discovers the corner of the structure has fallen onto a flatbed truck loaded with propane gas tanks.
All the gas and oxygen that were in the tanks had leaked into the building. Any spark, any tools that we use could ignite the whole atmosphere.
But despite the danger of a catastrophic explosion, Captain Strickland continues the rescue.
There is a light there. I've recognized that it could blow up, that it could fall, but we're still going to get them out. Doesn't matter what it takes.
First, ventilation fans are set up to blow clean air into the area. Next, the rescue crew's cutoff saw is replaced with an air chisel. This lightweight tool can cut through steel, and it creates fewer sparks than the saw.
It still posed a slight danger, but we felt the risk was worth the effort.
Lieutenant Palestrant peels away the last of the sheet metal, but Edwin is still not free. He is pinned beneath a steel support beam. The team must proceed carefully. Moving the beam could shift weight and cause more debris to fall on Edwin. The team carefully slides Edwin out from under the beam onto a backboard. After 2 excruciating hours, Edwin is pulled free.
He's got good distal pulses. He has no signs of trauma other than a laceration of the head.
Amazingly, Edwin only suffers minor cuts and bruises. He is carefully transported across the rubble. Metro-Dade rescue crews scour over 100,000 square feet of wreckage. 2 lives have been lost. But due to the firefighters' selfless efforts, Edwin and his 2 co-workers have been miraculously saved. Now investigators begin to piece through the rubble and try to determine what caused the fatal collapse. They find that before the collapse, workers had partially cut 4 weight-bearing columns with blowtorches, so bulldozers could eventually pull them down. But investigators say the weakened support columns unexpectedly buckled. Before Edwin and his co-workers could clear the area, the 70-year-old structure gave way, collapsing on top of them.
Suddenly I heard the noise, a big noise like a thunder. The roof hit my head and pushed me against the ground. And then everything went dark.
Edwin was trapped for more than 90 minutes before the rescue team found him.
I was thinking, saying this, thanks God, because we brought these people and the light just came back to my life. And I said there is no way to pay them back. And yes, try to live, try to be a good citizen.
What areas?
Tragedies like the Kennel Club collapse remind Captain Jeff Strickland and Lieutenant Bob Palestrant that they must be ready for anything. Since the collapse, Metro-Dade firefighters have been using simulation facilities, tirelessly training to perfect their rescue techniques.
The risks that we encountered on this particular collapse are part of the day-to-day job, and it's the risks that we chose to take when we took this job as firefighters. This is what we get paid to do.
It's a risk that Edwin Orellana is thankful they were willing to take.